Look, I'm about to show you exactly how to scale from nothing to 10k plus a month with trading. So if you're an unprofitable trader and you want to start seeing results and you want to start becoming a profitable day trader, I'm going to give you the exact roadmap on how we can do this, and I'm going to show you the exact way that I did it, and I'm going to try and help you from not making the same mistakes that I did. So let's get started. So first of all, the first things first, we have to start. Now, a lot of you boys are debating whether to start trading, whether to not start trading, or you might have already started. But the one piece of advice I can give you, if you're going to do it, just start. Just start. What is the worst that can happen? Now, everybody associates trading with making a lot of money or losing a lot of money, and that is the case unless you just start and don't put anything into it. A lot of people think that they have to put money into trading at the start to actually start to learn. It's all bullshit. You can learn trading for completely free. There's a load of resources out there, and there's a lot of things that you can do to learn trading without spending a penny. So there's no excuse for you as to why you can't just start and at least try to learn the skill. You might try it for a week, you might try it for a month, you might try it for 3 months, and it might be your cup of tea or it might not be. At least you've tried, and at least then you can tell yourself, right, I've tried trading, didn't really work for me, I can now try something else. That is all that matters. So, step one is to start. Then we need to learn the basics. So many of you boys want to start learning how to trade and jump straight to the charts, straight to the funded accounts, straight to the live accounts, and straight to making 10k per month, which isn't how it works. Trading is a longevity game. It's a game where it takes a long time to learn. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. However many people want to tell you that it is, the people that sell their signals groups, I promise you, trading is demoralizing. Trading takes the life out of you, and trading can really, really, really build you a great life if you genuinely learn how to do this properly and not try and do this as a get-rich-quick scheme and cut any corners. That's the best piece of advice I could give anybody is, if you're wanting to start learning how to trade, you have to understand that this shit takes time. So the first things first, we got to learn the basics. So how do we learn the basics? Well, what are the basics of futures trading? So we have to understand what the trading times are, the charts and the trends, uptrends, downtrends, breaker structure, market structure, the really basic things to trading. Now, I have all of this free inside of my free Discord community, which will be linked in the description. Inside of the Discord, I teach all of these really, really basics of futures trading, trading times, charts and trends, anatomy of a candlestick, futures pairs, contract size, point movement. But we have to understand these things before we can move on to anything else. These are the bits that we cannot skip over, and these are the bits that people skip over and then wonder why they're unprofitable. These are the really, really boring bits that you have to learn first before we can move on to anything else. Now, a great website I recommend for the basics of trading. Now, this website is mainly for Forex trading, but it is trading as a whole. So you will learn a lot about trading if you know absolutely nothing. And that website is Baby Pips. Now, Baby Pips is a completely free website. I will link it in the description, and you can go over there and learn the basics of trading. Like I said, it is mainly for Forex, but if you go over there knowing nothing about trading, you will come out knowing more about trading than you did. And it's very, very important because futures and Forex are essentially the same thing, bar the contract size and point and pips. That's the only thing that's slightly different. So you can go over there and learn a lot, and you will learn all of the basics and everything you need to know about trading before you start actually trying to learn the technical analysis, the fundamentals to trading. Now, another thing I want to clear up, once you've learned all these things, you are still not ready to jump on a chart and you are still not ready to start trading. We cannot skip the next step, which is understanding actually how to trade. Now, there's many people out there that teach these things for free. You have TJR, you have ICT. They're the two main guys that I would recommend for free content. They produce a lot of good, high quality, high value content. I would recommend TJR for the basics of trading, and then ICT to really understand and learn a model. And I would recommend the 2022 mentorship of ICT. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a very, very boring guy, and you have to be willing to put a lot of time and take a lot of notes, but you have to do these things. Or the next option is to invest into a mentor. Now, the importance of having someone that already knows what they're doing and can help you from not making the same mistakes that they did is the best thing that I ever invested into personally. I was trading for a year with no progress, no progression. I was just watching YouTube videos, doing all the free things, thinking I can do this myself. And it got to the point where I was like, right, I am not seeing progress and I'm literally just wasting money. So I thought, instead of wasting the money on losing the money on trades, I'm going to invest this money into a mentor. And that completely changed the game for me. Understanding that somebody else is better than you and they can help you and stop you from making the same mistakes that they did is the best thing you can do. I have also just launched a VIP group, which is kind of just a group mentorship. Inside this is going to be 2 weekly group calls with myself, and inside of here is where you want to be if you want to become a profitable day trader and you want to start to understand how to trade and the way that I trade. Inside the group, you will be surrounded by traders that only trade the same way as me. So we are all learning together, or you guys are all learning together and from each other and from me. It's a great community. Anyway, less of the VIP talk, less of the group mentorship talk. Let's get back to the video. So, as I was saying, you have to, once you've understood the basics of futures trading and trading as a whole, you now obviously have to learn how to trade yourself. So I need you guys to go away, either invest into a mentor or watch some free content. I've got a few videos, TJR, ICT, just start to really understand trading. Okay, so that, and again, this isn't going to be a quick process. The time it's going to take from this step to the next step is probably a good 1 to 2 to 3 months to fully understand the basics and the technical analysis of trading. It is not an easy game. This isn't, like I said, it's not a get rich quick scheme. This is like a university degree. This is something that takes years to master, and I haven't even mastered it myself yet. I'm good at what I do and I'm consistently profitable, but there's definitely things that I can still improve on myself as well. And I think for anyone to say that they're perfect, they are just completely lying. So once we've understood the basics of future trading and you are starting to get more confident in trading with the PD arrays, fair value gaps, order blocks, things like that, and if that doesn't make sense to you right now, it will once you've learned these things, then we can move on to the next step. And the next step that we need to do is we need to build a model. Now this is essentially the most important part of this whole thing with scaling to 10k a month with trading. I'll tell you why right now. If you're somebody right now who is going into the markets without a set structure and a set plan, then you are literally destined to fail. If you're going into the markets every single day without a plan, without knowing exactly what you are looking for and exactly what you need to see before you enter a trade, you are asking for unprofitability. So I'm now going to show you the model that I trade, and I'm going to show you the way that I have built the model, so that then you can go away and once you've understood once you understand trade, you can start to build your own model, or you can use the same model as me. It's completely up to you. But I've kind of built this whole thing based on my model, and then you can kind of take this and do it to your own model, or you can use my model. So I trade the TPP model, which is just the profit path. It's just my name. So the first step for my model, and you see how we have a clear 3-step model. It's not just a case of I jump on the charts and I look to trade. We have 3 simple steps. Now, the first step is direction. Now, direction is essentially just daily bias. Direction is the first part of my model and one of the most important parts. We need to understand where the daily candle is most likely to print, higher or lower. Once we can understand this, we can then move on to the next step, which is the stage area. I don't really want to go into too much on my model because that is all inside the group mentorship, all inside my course content. But essentially, the direction is where we are looking for our daily bias. And I have a very, very easy and set way on how I find daily bias. And you can go and watch the other video that I posted a few weeks ago, which explains how I find my daily bias. But essentially, all I am doing is having a look to see what the previous daily candles have done, having a look to see where the next draw on liquidity is, and based off of those 2 things, I can understand where the next daily candle is likely to print. So that is my step 1. I have to understand where price wants to go and where price is drawing towards. Because if we don't understand this and we don't understand where the daily time frame wants to go or the weekly time frame, how do we expect to understand where the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, anything below those time frames want to go? You simply will not be able to. Now, step 2, in my opinion, is the most important part of the whole model, and it is the stage area. The next step in my model is to identify our stage area. Now, a stage area is some sort of higher time frame PD array, like a fair value gap, order block, mitigation block, or a liquidity sweep that aligns with our daily bias. So if we are bullish, we would like to see a bullish fair value gap be tapped into, and we are waiting to see the reaction from there. Now, this is very important that you understand that we are not looking to enter from our stage area. We are simply anticipating a reaction away to then look for our entry. So imagine we have a bullish fair value gap on daily time frame. We aren't entering the trade when the market comes down to the fair value gap. We are simply waiting for price to show us a reaction away from this fair value gap, which then confirms the fact that our direction is correct and that our stage area is valid. So, which then leads us on to step 3, which is our entry. Now, entry for me is the easiest part of the model, and it's the entry. Now, this consists of waiting for clear displacement away from that stage area, which then tells us that our stage area is correct, and we want to see some sort of fair value gap be inversed, and that is how we get into our position. Now, I'm not going to go too much into my model. I'm not here to teach you how to trade my model. I'm just showing you how the roadmap on how you become a consistently profitable day trader and can scale to 10k plus per month. And this is the biggest thing. You need a plan and you need a model that works, that consistently works, and that you are confident in. And the most important part about this is that you are confident in your model. I go into every single day with these 3 things on my screen that says direction, stage, and entry. And before the session, I write out what my direction is, what my stage is. Obviously, I don't write the entry because the trade hasn't formed yet, but you understand my point. Having a model and having a set, clear plan and understanding what you're going to do before it happens is the best and biggest thing that you need in trading. So now that you have a model, and again, this could be your own model. I'm just showing you how you need to structure this. But if you wanted to use my model and learn my model, like I said, you can join the VIP, £150 a month, and you get a lot of value. So the next step after we've built the model, we now need to build data on our model. Obviously, I have already done all of this and I've already built data on my model, which is why I'm so confident in the way I speak about my model, and which is why I am a profitable day trader. But essentially, if you are building your own model, you now need to build data on this model. Now, what do I mean by this? So, data collection. You need to give me a year's worth of profit and loss. I need to see the statistics. I want to know over a year's time frame, with you risking the same amount and taking the same trades every single day, are you overall up for the year or are you overall down on the year? If the answer is down, then there's something fundamentally wrong about your model and that needs to change. But that's fine. Because we're not losing money here, boys. Remember, this is all data collection. So this is a good part. You aren't losing anything. You're just building data and building confidence. Now, if you end the year on an up, okay, your model clearly works. Now, this is going to give you confidence for when you're actually trading real money or prop firm money, that your model works. So even when you take a loss, you're not going to be thinking, oh my days, what am I going to do? I need to change my model. No, you're sticking to your model because you know over a long enough period of time, this model is profitable. Again, the profit and loss and is your model profitable? This links into the same one, but these are the questions that we kind of have to be asking ourselves when we are looking for data collection. Now, data collection isn't just about profit and loss and win rate and things like that. It's also, is there certain time/days you want to avoid? So for me and my model, I understand that the most losses that I take were on a Monday and a Friday. So I now sit those days out usually. I sometimes trade on a Monday and Friday, but I'm very cautious and I'm only waiting for the highest quality setups because I understand with my data collection that on a Monday and a Friday, my model isn't as effective. Why? I couldn't tell you why in terms of an economical standpoint. All I know is from my data collection, a Monday and a Friday, my model isn't really that effective. So what do? I sit out of the markets because our job as a day trader is to take the most high probability setups, and the most high probability setups come on the most high probability days. And me understanding that most of my losses come on a Monday and a Friday, why would I do that? I'd rather wait for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and make the most amount of money. Now, some of you boys are going into the markets every single day expecting to take a trade, expecting to make money. Now, you have to have the mindset shift from wanting to make money to wanting to preserve your capital. It's very important that you preserve your capital instead of wanting to make money from trading. Now, I'm going to go into that more when we talk about psychology. But yeah, the next thing that we need to collect data on is when do we sit out of the market? What days and what do we need to look for to understand that our model isn't going to play out? These are the sort of things that we need to be finding in our data collection. Now, again, my DMs are always open. If anybody needs help with any of these things, I will do it completely for free. I can help you all out. You just need to cooperate and you need to just drop me a DM and I can help you with any of these things. Even if it's in terms of how do I even collect data, I can make a video on that. I can help you out with that. Just DM me and I'm happy to help anybody out. And by the way, no question is a stupid question. So, once we have collected data and once we now understand that our model is either profitable or unprofitable, we are now doing two things. If the model is profitable, we are moving on to the next step, which is start to forward test your model. Now, if the model is unprofitable over a year's time frame, we are now going to go back to step 3, which is building the model. We now want to find a new model and we now want to change some things, maybe alter some things for it to become a profitable model. You see, a lot of people trade for a week, don't see profitability, and then they go to another try and find another strategy. I call it strategy hopping, okay? Now, that's not the right thing to do because you have to give a model time. Now, if you've given a model a year's worth of backtesting and it doesn't work, then fair enough, change models. It clearly doesn't work if it's not working over a year's time, okay? But if it does, we can then move on to the next step, which is we must start to forward test our model. So, what does forward test meaning? Before you start to go into the market with real money, you need to build experience and practice your model without taking any real losses. So the best way to do this is by forward testing your model, which means go onto the market as if you were trading and then open a demo account and practice. Now, it's really important that you treat this demo account like a live account so you can build good habits. Too many of you boys go into a demo account and treat it not like a demo account. You literally just treat it as in, I'm going to take every single trade I see, I'm going to over risk because it's a demo account. You cannot be doing this, because I did the same thing, and then when I went into a live account, what started to happen was I was like, okay, I did this on a demo account and it worked, so I'm going to do it on a live, and I got absolutely wrecked. So you need to be treating this demo account as if it was a live account or a funded account, because once you go into these funded accounts, you're going to have good habits and you are going to understand how your psychology and how everything works, and you're going to have confidence. Whereas if you go into these demo accounts and treat it like gambling in a way, you're going to go into the live accounts and do the exact same things. So it's very important you treat these demo accounts with protection, literally. So once we've forward tested our model, and when I say forward test, a very good tip for forward testing is I want you to open 3 demo accounts. And what I want you to do with these demo accounts is assume they are funded accounts, and I want you to try and pass these 3 times. Once you can pass a funded account 3 times on a demo account, you are ready to start either going into live capital or start a funded account. Now, what do I mean by this? I want you to open a demo account. Let's say it's a £100,000 demo account, and I want you to make 8% without losing 5. Find the firm that you're going to go with, look at their rules, and follow their rules with a demo account, okay? Once you've done this 3 times and can prove to yourself or me that you can do this 3 times, you are then ready, and you should know full well you're ready, that you're ready to go with a funded account. Now, it's only you who's going to know if you actually stuck to your model and stuck to your rules, but if you did, then you are clearly ready and your model clearly works, and you can go into the funded account ready to trade and be confident. So, once we've forward tested our model, we have to start to improve our psychology. Now, psychology is the biggest thing when it comes to trading, okay? And if you are brand new to trading, I genuinely mean this. Psychology will either make you or it will break you, okay? So my biggest piece of advice for anyone who's brand new to trading is focus on psychology over trading itself, okay? It's going to sound crazy, you're going to be like, why? But if you can cut out the psychology aspect and all you now need to do is master the trading, you will be so successful so fast. If you can come into trading not wanting to make money, genuinely wanting to learn the skill of trading, you will make money so fast because you're not bothered about the money, you're not bothered about the end goal, you're not bothered about the payouts. Too many people come into this game because they've seen all over social media they can make 10k in 2 minutes, and it's simply not true. You will get absolutely wrecked. You'll probably end up losing 10k in 2 minutes. So how do we improve our psychology? We have to become disciplined outside of trading. Now, when I say this, I mean, if you say you're going to go to the gym, you must go to the gym. Start with the small wins. If you can be disciplined off of the charts, you will be disciplined on the charts. Little things add up. And for me, something that helped me was every morning I would write down 5 things I'm going to do today, and I had to do them before the trading day opened. And once you do those 5 things, because you've told yourself you're going to do it, you feel way better, number 1. And number 2, you've become a lot more disciplined. I then would go onto the charts, tell myself I'm only looking for these setups, and I actually would. And if I took a loss, I'd simply just walk away because I've had the discipline all morning to do things that I don't really want to do. So that's the first thing. You have to become disciplined outside of trading. And the quicker you can do these things and the quicker you start putting these things into play is the quicker you become a profitable day trader. So again, this isn't really a tip. This is just me being absolutely real. You either learn the hard way or the hardest way. Now, most people learn the hardest way. I learned the hardest way. I think 99% of traders learn the hardest way. But if I can make 1% of you not learn the hardest way, I hope I can. And when I say that, I mean, I learned the hardest way in the fact that I wasted so much money on funded accounts and live accounts. So much money that I could have invested into somebody else who could have taught me not to do these things. This is why I think mentorship is so important, because you can learn the hard way yourself, so you can learn the hard way with a mentor, because again, it's going to be hard even with a mentor. You're still going to make mistakes. You're still probably going to lose some money, okay? Or you can learn the hardest way, which is you literally go from losing everything, okay? Or you can just invest in a mentor and learn the hard way. But most people learn the hardest way, and I learned the hardest way and then had to invest into a mentor anyway after. So I would just recommend really learning the hard way instead of the hardest way. And the third thing is, do not chase money. You have to have, if I can give one piece of advice to anybody who is coming into trading, don't chase money, chase trading. Literally just start to really enjoy, taking winning trades, not because of the money, because you have stuck to your rules, you've stuck to your plan, everything's played out, and start to really get like a good feeling when you take a winning trade, not because you've made $2,000, but because you have followed your plan and you've been disciplined enough, and now that has resulted in a winning trade. So once your psychology has improved, and you're only going to know your psychology is improved once you have passed these 3 demo account challenges without breaking any rules or without being stupid, and only you are going to know that, okay? You have 2 options. You can either start with a small live capital or purchase a funded account. In my opinion, I would rather purchase a funded account. So I'm going to talk to you boys about buying a funded account, because the funded accounts are as cheap as £36. So I'd rather spend £36 to potentially get paid upwards of 5k than start with £200 in an account and either lose it all or make maybe £30 here and there. So purchasing funding accounts. This is after all of the previous steps have been completed and you are feeling confident with the way the model works and in yourself with the trading. You have collected data and you have forward tested it for a reasonable amount of time. You can now look to buy a funded account, and here's exactly how I would do it. So obviously step 1, we are going to purchase the funded account. Step 2, we're going to pass the account. Now I'm going to make a whole other video on how we risk and how we should pass these funded accounts the best and most effective ways. Now step 3, we want to build the account up plus request the payout. Step 4, with the profits that we have made, we are not going to go spending it on clothes or anything like that. We're going to reinvest the profits into another 4 accounts and put them all on copy trade. So you imagine you have 1 leader account that's passed, and then you have now got 4 other accounts that are following the leader account, which is your XFA. So you're not bothered about these 4 combines. They're steadily and slowly going to get passed. Okay, whether it takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it doesn't matter, because you're getting paid on this 1 account. So once those 4 accounts have now been passed, you should now be ready for another payout on the first account. So with the payout from the first account, you're then going to reinvest those profits back into activating those, which is going to be another £400, £500, £600. Now, after you've done this is probably going to take 1, 2, 3 months maybe. You have now got max funding with Top Step and can now be earning upwards of insane numbers with trading. Imagine you have 5 accounts and you're taking a payout of 2k. That's not a 2k payout, that's a 10k payout with 5 accounts. This is what you have to be looking at, and this is the bigger picture, and it all starts with building a model. Now, if you want guidance from myself or you want to join group mentorship, make sure to drop me a DM on Discord, and yeah, I will see you on the next TikTok Live, I guess.